Hey friends, welcome to day 2 of our 5-day Break the Cycle experience. Tonight, I am going to talk about what is actually triggering your exit. Last night we talked about the Monday loop and how to notice it, and tonight we're going to talk about what is actually triggering you to exit. So by the end of tonight, you'll stop blaming the event and start recognizing the trigger behind your urge to leave. This is a big one. So yes, yesterday we talked about the Monday loop, the cycle, and the pattern. Today, we're going to talk about what actually causes that exit. Because most women think they leave because of what happened, right? The missed workout, the skipped post, the bad week, and the setback. And there's many more things. But I don't think that's actually what's happening. I think something deeper is being triggered because the event is rarely the problem. Okay? Missing one workout is not why you quit. Missing one day of content is not why you disappear. Having one hard week is not why you start over. Those are events. The real question is, what did the event mean? Let me give you an example. A missed workout becomes, I'm failing. Skipping content becomes, I'm inconsistent. A bad week becomes, here we go again. And this is where the trigger begins. The 4 most common exit triggers are discomfort, fear, shame, and uncertainty. So let me dig a little deeper there. The first one, discomfort, is when things stop feeling exciting. Growth gets boring. Momentum slows and you start questioning everything. This is what a lot of people refer to as the messy middle, right? It's actually kind of like the bridge. There's going to be some discomfort there. There's going to be times when it's boring. It is not always exciting all the time. Starting over is, but we lose self-trust with ourselves when we do that versus just staying. The second trigger is fear. And this is another big one where we talked last night that fear is a big reason people leave because they don't feel safe anymore. We also, like we talked about with the examples, fear of failure, fear of success. And there is a fear of that because you may not exactly know what comes with success. So you stop right before you get there because you're uncertain. You might have a fear of being seen or a fear of judgment because when you're seen, a lot more things can happen and people can say and do stuff that isn't always so nice. And fear often sounds like wisdom, where it's telling you to start over. Now, another big one is shame. And I know this one really well. You're making it mean something about you. That's what shame is. Like, I missed a workout. I'm lazy. I did not post that content or continue reading a book. That means I'm inconsistent. Maybe going back, it could still be the workout. It could be taking new supplements. Just cooking dinner every night. And you are ordering out, so you think you're not disciplined enough to do it. And thinking lazy, inconsistent, and lacking discipline leads a lot of women to have a lot of shame. And then the fourth one is uncertainty, because you don't know if it's working yet, right? Because if you just continue and you have not been continuing, you don't have that self-trust muscle built yet. So there's a lot of uncertainty there. You don't know if you'll succeed. That's hard. That is a really hard one. That's a hard one for me in a lot of areas. I don't know if I'll succeed, but I have to keep going. I have to keep trying. I have to have trust in myself that I will succeed. That if I only help a couple women in this process, that is a success. I don't have to go viral. to be successful. There's a lot of people that might go viral one time and then they don't ever go viral again. And then they were worried that they also maybe are not successful and they're uncertain what to do next. And your brain hates uncertainty, hates it. It wants to keep you safe. That is what your brain wants to do. So that's why it wants you to start over, because you know how to start over. You've been doing it over and over again. I did it over and over again. So we really take a lot of things that maybe are neutral in meaning and we make them mean something. And I call that the meaning making trap. It's kind of hard to say, the meaning making trap. But this is where most women tend to leave. Again, not because of the event that happened, but because of the story they tell themselves. The event. You missed a day, whether it was a day of working out, a day of, content, whatever it was. You tell yourself a story. I always do this. The event could be life just gets messy. Like I said, the messy middle. And the story is, I can't follow through. The event could be progress slowed. And the story is, maybe this isn't meant for me. But most women don't leave because something failed. They leave because something felt uncomfortable. And that is a very different conversation. So the new question should be, instead of saying, should I quit? You need to ask what is actually triggering. What is triggering me here? Instead of what's wrong, ask what story am I telling myself? Because we love to tell ourselves stories. And usually when something is happening, it's a story you're telling about yourself that probably relates back to something that happened in your childhood. I understand this very well because of things that happened in my childhood that I'm still working through. It's not anything that stops me every day, but I tell myself a story, right? And because of certain things that happened, I still sometimes feel like I'm not good enough. When maybe I do miss a day of something or skip something, I will be like, oh, I didn't do that because I'm not good enough. I guess I need to start over and try again to see if I can be good enough this time. That is very common. We all have stories we tell ourselves, and we give meaning to things that are really just neutral, objective things that happen. We are the ones who make them have meaning, okay? Awareness is where interruption begins. So this week would have been a perfect excuse for me to leave. I am traveling this week. It's the summer travel season. I'll be traveling most weeks every month until mid-September. I have a lot of work the next 2 weeks. Still having grief over losing Boyd and being really tired. I actually honestly thought about I'm just going to pre-record this and schedule it and go to bed early. But I ended up just taking a nap later in the day for 45 minutes and feel better. So I didn't quit. There was so many things that I could have seen and done and used as an opportunity to quit. But I chose not to. So when saying that, think about the last time you started over. What happened right before you left? Were you tired? Did something, messy happen? Did you miss something one day? And what did you tell yourself about that event? Because again, the event is not why you left. It was what you told yourself. That was the trigger. Was it discomfort, fear, shame, uncertainty, or something else? Drop it in the comments. Let's work through this. There's no shame here. We're all learning to be the best versions of ourselves. And we do that by continuing and building our self-trust muscle as we move forward. Now, I'm excited because tomorrow night we're actually going to be talking about staying. Because once you understand that trigger, you cannot stop. You can stop. I'm sorry. Once you understand the trigger, you can stop treating every uncomfortable feeling like a reason to leave. And that is where we build self-trust. The goal is not to become someone new. The goal is to become someone who stays. The woman you're meant to be is not missing. She keeps getting abandoned in the middle of the process. Remember, self-trust is not believing in yourself. It is staying with yourself. Thanks so much. I hope you all have an amazing night, and I can't wait to hear your homework so that we can talk a little further and find out what you're actually telling yourself in the process of wanting to start over. Bye.